Whether I shall ever be better I cannot tell, I awfully forbade I shall not. To remain as I am is impossible. I must die or be better. I can make a general in 5 minutes, but a good horse is hard to replace. I am now public property. No man was to be eulogized for what he did, or censured for what he did or did not do. All of us are the children of conditions, of circumstances, of environment, of education, of acquired habits and of heredity, molding men as they are and will forever be. This war would never have been possible without the sinister influence of the Jesuits. We owe it to popery that we now see our land reddened with the blood of her noblest sons. It's their decision. If they decide to turn their back on the fire and burn their behinds, then they will just have to sit on their blisters. Surely God would not have created such a being as man, with an ability to grasp the infinite, to exist only for a day. No, no, man was made for immortality. I will not say that we may not sooner or later be compelled to meet force by force, but the time has not yet come, and if we are true to ourselves, may never come. Do not mistake that the ballot is stronger than the bullet. Therefore let the legions of slavery use bullets, but let us wait patiently till November, and fire ballots at them in return, and by that peaceful policy, I believe we shall ultimately win. In the end, it's not the years in your life that count. It's the life in your years. I'm a slow walker, but I never walk back. You cannot build character and courage by taking away people's initiative and independence. You cannot help people permanently by doing for them what they could and should do for themselves. Both, North and South, read the same Bible, and pray to the same God, and each invokes his aid against the other. It may seem strange that any men should dare to ask a just God's assistance in wringing their bread from the sweat of other men's faces. But let us judge not that we be not judged. The prayers of both could not be answered, that of neither has been answered fully. The Almighty has his own purposes. As to your proposals that a poll shall be opened in every precinct, and that the whole shall take place on the same day, I do not personally object. I am a patient man, always willing to forgive on the Christian terms of repentance, and also to give ample time for repentance. We can complain because rose bushes have thorns, or rejoice because thorn bushes have roses. Affection for her, of the compatibility. The question then is, can that gratification be found in supporting and maintaining an edifice that has been erected by others? Most certainly it cannot. Many great and good men, sufficiently qualified for any task they should undertake, may ever be found whose ambition would aspire to nothing beyond a seat in Congress, a gubernatorial or a presidential chair. But such belong not to the family of the lion or the tribe of the eagle. What? Think you these places would satisfy an Alexander, a Caesar, or a Napoleon? Never. Towering genius disdains a beaten path. It seeks regions hitherto unexplored. It sees no distinction in adding story to story upon the monuments of fame erected to the memory of others. It denies that it is glory enough to serve under any chief. It scorns to tread in the footsteps of any predecessor, however illustrious. It thirsts and burns for distinction, and if possible, it will have it, whether at the expense of emancipating slaves or enslaving freemen. Is it unreasonable, then, to expect that some man possessed of the loftiest genius, coupled with ambition sufficient to push it to its utmost stretch, will at some time spring up among us? You cannot escape the responsibility of tomorrow by evading it today. The better part of one's life consists in his friendships. How do I ask a question on Expedia? How do I complain to Expedia? How do I make a claim with Expedia? Response to political smear to Robert Allen, New Salem, June 21, 1836. Dear Colonel, I am told that during my absence last week you passed through this place, and stated publicly that you were in possession of a fact or facts which, if known to the public, would entirely destroy the prospects of N.W. Edwards and myself at the ensuing election, but that, through favor to us, you should forbear to divulge them. No one has needed favors more than I, and, generally, few have been less unwilling to accept them, but in this case favor to me would be injustice to the public, and therefore I must beg your pardon for declining it. That I once had the confidence of the people of Sangamon, is sufficiently evident, and if I have since done anything, either by design or misadventure, which if known would subject me to a forfeiture of that confidence, he that knows of that thing, and conceals it, is a traitor to his country's interest. I find myself wholly unable to form any conjecture of what fact or facts, real or supposed, you spoke, but my opinion of your veracity will not permit me for a moment to doubt that you at least believed what you said. I am flattered with the personal regard you manifested for me, but I do hope that, on more mature reflection, you will view the public interest as a paramount consideration, and therefore determine to let the worst come. I here assure you that the candid statement of facts on your part, however low it may sink me, shall never break the tie of personal friendship between us. I wish an answer to this, and you are at liberty to publish both, if you choose. Very respectfully, Lincoln. To Miss Grace Bedell, your very agreeable letter of the 15th is received. I regret the necessity to of saying I have no daughter. I have 3 sons, one 17, one 9, and one 7. They with their mother constitute my whole family. As to the whiskers, having never worn any, do you not think people would call it a piece of silly affection if I were to begin now? I know of nothing so pleasant to the mind, as the discovery of anything which is at once new and valuable, nothing which so lightens and sweetens toil, as the hopeful pursuit of such discovery. Leave nothing for tomorrow which can be done today. Once said that his political adversary dived down deeper into the sea of knowledge and came up drier than any other man he knew. A capacity, and taste, for reading gives access to whatever has already been discovered by others. May the Almighty grant that the cause of truth, justice, and humanity shall in no wise suffer at my hands. Have I not destroyed my enemy when I have made him into my friend? He who molds public sentiment goes deeper than Ahe who enacts statutes or pronounces decisions. He makes statutes and decisions possible or impossible to be executed. As our case is new, we must think and act anew. Shall we expect some transatlantic military giant to step the ocean and crush us at a blow? Never. All the armies of Europe, Asia, and Africa combined, with all the treasure of the earth, our own excepted, in their military chest, with a Bonaparte for a commander, could not by force take a drink from the Ohio or make a track on the Blue Ridge in a trial of 1,000 years. At what point then is the approach of danger to be expected? I answer. If it ever reach us it must spring up amongst us, it cannot come from abroad. If destruction be our lot we must ourselves be its author and finisher. As a nation of freemen we must live through all time or die by suicide. Our government rests in public opinion. Whoever can change public opinion can change the government. We cannot escape history. So true it is that man proposes and God disposes. The shepherd drives the wolf from the sheep's throat, for which the sheep thanks the shepherd as a liberator, while the wolf denounces him for the same act as the destroyer of liberty. Plainly the sheep and the wolf are not agreed upon a definition of the word liberty, and precisely the same difference prevails today among us human creatures, and all professing to love liberty. If at any point on or in the vicinity of the military line, which is now used between the city Philadelphia and the city of Washington, via Perryville, Annapolis City, and Annapolis Junction, you find resistance which renders it necessary to suspend the writ of habeas corpus for the public safety, you, personally or through the officer in command at the point where the resistance occurs, are authorized to suspend that writ. If we never try, we shall never succeed. He who does something at the head of 1 regiment, will eclipse him who does nothing at the head of 100. My dear sir, yours of the 13th, is just received. My engagements are such that I cannot, at any very early day, visit Rock Island, to deliver a lecture, or for any other object. As to the other matter you kindly mention, I must, in candor, say I do not think myself fit for the presidency. I certainly am flattered, and gratified, that some partial friends think of me in that connection, but I really think it best for our cause that no concerted effort, such as you suggest, should be made. Let this be considered confidential. Yours very truly. If I had had my way, this war would never have been commenced. Lincoln characterized Stephen Douglas's argument as a specious and fantastic arrangement of words, by which a man can prove a horse chestnut to be a chestnut horse. Let every American, every lover of liberty, every well-wisher to his posterity, swear by the blood of the Revolution never to violate in the least particular the laws of the country, and never to tolerate their violation by others. As the patriots of '76 did to the support of the Declaration of Independence, so to the support of the Constitution and the laws